Hello, folks. This is tutorial 11, which is in a playlist called Performing Kinematics Analysis in the 3D Experiences platform. Uh, the problem that we're going to be doing is referred to as robotic arm and shown here to you. And I the dimensions are irrelevant in this problem because all we're doing is going to be the kinematics calculation. And this is chapter 6 of a textbook that was prepared by me back in 2016, uh, doing these kind of problems, except that this has not been updated since this book has not been updated since then. So instead of revising the book, I decided to prepare these video tutorials, and it's going to be using the release 2024 X of 3D Experience. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it. My process is first I make a base, then I will make the link 1, link 2, and finally the vertical link. Okay, so let me go there and right click insert 3D part. This is going to be the base. So I'm going to rename this thing to say at least it starts with the title base. The rest of it, I leave it the way it is. And this is the instance name, also base. Okay, let's go make it. I'm going to double click on that. I am in the part design. Okay, so on that horizontal plane, I will sketch. So a rectangle, centered rectangle here. And those dimensions are the dimensions of the base are totally irrelevant, but I will put some dimensions here based on the drawing that I see. Maybe uh, 3 feet, 2 feet. Let me check that. Make this thing uh, maybe 2 feet. Okay, there we are. And then I'm going to draw a circle here because I want to do a multi-path to make my job easier. Let me see now. This is the base, which is the radius of it is 0.5. 0.5. Okay, and then I'm going to draw another circle here. You might wonder why am I doing it like that, but that's okay. I want to use a multipath to make my job here easier, so that's going to be 0.25. Okay, good. Oops, 0.25. Okay, and then I'm going to exit. Let's see if we can find a multipath right here. Okay, so what I had to do is I clicked on model. Okay, and here's the path, and I go to multipath. So I select this. There are three curves observed here. This one, let's see now, this one is the let's see now, this one, let's give it the uh, 0.2 and see how it looks like. Okay, so that's this middle one. Let me see for a second. Oh, no, that is the rectangle. Okay. This one, I'm going to make this thing based on the drawing. Make it about 4 feet long. Okay, right there. And then this one, I'm going to make it roughly 5. Oops, the only mistake was one of these I didn't do correctly. So let me see now. Maybe this is 5 and this is 4. Let's check it out. Yep, there we are. Okay, if it's too much work, you can do pad, 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 etc. Very good. So that takes care of the base. So I'll go all the way to the top, right click, insert, 3D part. Okay, I'm going to call this thing link 1, right click properties, link 1. And for reference, link 1. Okay, and then we say okay, and we're going to make it. Link 1 is the one that goes up here, so I'm going to minimize my job. So on that plane, I will sketch. Now, why don't I project that circle? So I'm going to project that circle here. Or that circle, it doesn't matter. You can see it's there. And then I'm going to make the rest of this. So let's look at the normal view. Okay, and then I draw the rest of this. Notice that I'm not really bothering with these dimensions anymore. Just that's fine. So I will use the elongated hole. Maybe something like that. Okay. Although I would like to use this correct size here, so 3.5. Just make my job easier. 3.5. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. Exit. Oh, I want a hole at this end too. So why don't I draw something there? Exit and pad it. Lip it. Okay. And let's make this thing maybe point 1. See how it looks like. Yeah, about point 2. Okay, good. So this is going to be link number 2. Now all the way to the top, right click, insert, 3D part. Let me call this thing link 2, right click properties, link 2. Link 2. Let's go make it. All right, so on that plane, I will sketch. Okay, let's say that I want to make it the same size. So I'm going to project that entire circle in there. Okay, so let me project that face. That's what I meant. Entire 3D element right there. And let me look at this thing from front. Good. Now, one of the ends, I wanted to have a smaller hole. So what I can do is I can select this and either delete it, or if you want to make it smaller because it's projection, what you need to do, you have to right click and isolate it. Now you can redimension that. Okay, so for example, let me make this thing a point, I don't know, maybe point 1. Okay, very good. So exit. Now, once again, I want a multipad because I want a pin at this end and a hole at that end. Okay, so let me actually hide this. Good. So we go here again to multipad. You select that sketch. You see 3 curves. One of them is the outside one. So let me make it point 2 just like the other one. Flip it. Okay. The other one is going to be this one, which is, let me see which one is it, which one it is. Let me make this thing uh, 0, one of them 0. Let me make this thing point 3 to see whether that's going to be the whole. Is that the one? No, that's not the right one. So this one I can make 0 because I want a hole here and point 3 at this end. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit more. Perhaps just to make it look better. Point, I don't know, 5. Okay. I'll make it point 4. Okay, so let's see if we can move these things. First of all, we go all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Assembly, I'm going to use the compass to move these things. So let me move this guy. Right. The other fellow is in hiding. This guy was hiding. We bring it in the front. Oh, bring in the front. There we are. So this pin is going to go into that later on. Why don't I move these things also right now? Let me move these. Let me move these things. Good. Now we need this vertical thingy. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it. So all the way to the top, all the way to the top, right click, insert, 3D part. Can't remember, what did we call it? Call this thing link 3 actually. All right, so remember I've kind of ignored all dimensions here, so that's fine. Okay, let me finish with this. Let me go here, properties, link 3. And there's the actual part name, link 3. You say, okay, let's go make it. So double click on that. I want to hold that size. So on that face, I will sketch. Why don't I project that circle? Project that circle. Good. Okay, and then I'm going to pad it. So we exit the sketcher, and let's see if we can find pad here. And let me pad it in both directions. So let me make this thing bigger. Maybe 1. See how it looks like. Maybe 2. And let's also do in both direction there, or what Katia calls mirror extend. Now, at the bottom of this, I want to create a point because eventually that point is going to be on the curve. So let me make a point here at the bottom of this and circle center. So a point has been created right there. Okay, good. Might as well all right, now remember, I need to have a path here. The path, you can make it as a separate part, or you can actually go ahead and make it part of this base, because it really doesn't matter. So let me go ahead and do this. So I go back to the base, whatever is easier for you. Back to the base. So we are in the base. Right now we're in the base. I'm going to create a plane at the tilted angle here, and then draw that, whatever it is, circle or ellipse on that plane. So where is the reference thingies here? So essentials, here's a plane. And the method that I want to make the plane is angle and nor angle / normal to a plane. You select this rotation axis, for example, right there. And reference plane is with respect to that horizontal one, for example, or that doesn't really matter with respect to this. Okay, horizontal one. And the angle, let me make it 60 degrees, so it looks like. There we go. Oh, actually, I want this thing to be maybe minus 60. Something that's tilted the other way. Preview. Yeah, you can see that. Actually, let me make it minus 80. No, minus 40. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to draw it on this. Actually, I'm going to make it minus 20. Good. All right, so we did create a plane here which belongs to that base. Now, on that, I will sketch the path that I want. So you can do whatever you want. You can make it, for example, spline or an ellipse. Let me make it an ellipse. And if necessary, we're going to move it. Okay, let me exit this thing so it looks like. Uh, Actually, I would like this thing to be somewhere else. So right there, maybe. Hopefully it can reach it. The arms can't reach it. Yeah, and that plane, I think I tilt it a little bit more. Yeah, I'll tilt that plane a little bit more. It was this plane, I believe. Let's see, maybe 30. Yeah. Okay. So good enough. Actually, let me make this ellipse a little bit longer. That's fine. I'll do another one. Okay, I'll delete that guy. Delete. I move this thing here, perhaps. Exit. I don't particularly like this, but I'll move it over there so that let's see now. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay, so we are pretty much done. So let's go ahead and for a reason that you see later, I'm going to make a point on this path also. So on a curve, I'm going to make this curve. It doesn't matter where, because eventually I want to put the bottom of this link 3 on that. Okay, to go all the way to the top. And now we're going to start doing the assembly. So let's go ahead, assembly constraints. So we are there. Okay. First of all, I don't want to see all these planes, so let me hide them. So Control F, find all the planes. Find all the planes, search them, find them, and then hide. We will hide. There's too many planes there. Okay, cleaned up. Now, let's fix this base. So we go to engineering connection, fix, and the part that I'm going to fix is that base. Okay, so let's assemble this, put this thing on top of that. So basically, uh, I'm going to create joints that eventually become revolute joints. Okay, so let's go ahead here. And why don't I make a revolute joint? And the revolute joint, I'm going to make it uh, uh, the template gives me different ways of doing it. So I will do uh, line and line and plane and plane. So let's see, line and line and plane and plane. Let's see now. That'll be this. Okay. So what do I mean by that? This line and that line. Okay. And this plane and that plane. Okay, so this will become a revolute joint, and this is not going to be the thing that's going to get controlled. So actually, I'm going to delete this. Fine. Say okay. I don't want to do any contact stuff. By the way, there is a. Let me hide this. Yeah, hide that surface. Now, I'm going to put this pin inside of that hole. So again, another revolute. Which one did I use? I used this one, right? That one, and this one, and this plane, and that plane, and flip the directions there. And I don't need, this is not going to be controlled either. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, good, good. Now, that pin is going to go into that hole. But remember, this has to be prismatic, because if this, when it goes in there, is not prismatic, it can twist about its own axis and you get an extra degree of freedom that we don't want. So let's go ahead and do that. So we do a prismatic. So prismatic, we're going to do line and line, plane and plane. So this is the one that I'm going to use, line and line. Let me see that. Line and line and plane and plane. This is the one that I'm going to be using. So this axis and that axis and the vertical plane of this guy and the vertical plane of link 2. So let's go ahead and find the vertical plane of link 2, for example, YZ plane of link 2, and the YZ plane of the pin, link 3 basically. And I don't need this, I'm going to delete that. And then we say, okay, so this, something is wrong here. Maybe let me edit. So let's check this out. Axis to axis, this axis and that axis, this plane, YZ plane of that pin, and the YZ plane of that link, right? Okay, you cannot make it coincidence. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to make it uh, parallel. How about that? Make it parallel, not coincidence. So let me change the type. Uh, let me delete the. Let me do it a different way. The thing is that these cannot be coincidence because there are different locations. So let me do this thing a different way. Hang in there. Offset, not offset. Uh, parallel, parallel, right there. Okay, good. Now we can close it. Don't check now. Remember, I tried to make it coincident. It's not going to be possible because these are different locations the way they were made. But you can make them parallel, and this is going to become a prismatic joint. All right. So let's go ahead. Now we're going to bring this point. We're going to bring this point and coincide it with that. So let's go ahead and make it spherical. I'm going to delete that point and point, this point and that point, although we're going to delete that, otherwise it won't be able to move. And then we say, okay, don't check the thing, and then we update. Good. That's the way it is. This last joint, spherical one, I'm going to delete. Okay, so good. You're good. You're going to go to uh, mechanical system design, create a mechanism. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was to create my point curve joint, but we can do that now after I fix this thing. So we say, okay, good. So let's check this. These are all the joints that we created. Now I'm going to create a point curve joint. I could have done this thing before, but I'm going to do that now. So here is the engineering connection. Here is the engineering connection. I'm going to change this thing to point curve, point and a curve. So the point is the point at the bottom of that. Make sure you pick the right one because they're two sitting on top of each other. So the point at the bottom of link 3, where is it? This point. And the path, of course, is this ellipse that we created. And incidentally, it says that 1.63 is the length of this thing. Okay, good. Very good. Now, if you go to the manager, this is the one that I just did. It's not included, so we add it. And this is the one that we want to make length driven. Remember, I deleted those uh, boxes when I was creating these revolutes, etc. I deleted them. That's why it said not derivable. But this is the one that drives it. We say, okay. Now let's go ahead and check it. Let's go ahead and check this. So here is the way we check mechanism player. Right now, you see this? Okay. The only thing is that we want this range of that to be bigger than 196. Now we cannot do it here. So right now it only goes there. But we can fix this thing in a minute. All right. So let me see now. Uh, once we put the physics into it, it's going to take care of that. Right now, let me just check this. Oh, let me make the distance here. Maybe make it 4. So I want to know what the length of that thing is. Let me cancel that. Let me find the length of this. Hang in there. Measure that length. It's 13. What is that? 13, almost 14 feet. 13.989. Okay, so we say cancel. 13.989. Double click on that. Click on this. 13.989. 13.989. And then we say okay. Okay, so all right, let's go to that uh we go to mechanism, okay, mechanism, and get that thing mechanism player. You see it goes all the way around. Good. Close. Excellent. Now, if you want to do a simulation, in other words, give this bottom some speed, for example, what we can do is we go here to mechanical systems experience, create the simulation, okay, and let's create a law. So for the support, I select this command that I created, and I'm going to make this thing. Click on the f of x. Okay. Give it, for example, right now it's at 13.989 feet. So we go minus maybe 1 foot feet underscore s times time. Okay. And for the duration of the scenario, let's go create a kinematic scenario right there. Here's the law. So we make it 13, I don't know, 13.4, 13 seconds. Because if I go below 13 seconds, it'll never get to the end. So sure. And then here I make a point 2 increment. We say okay. Now let's run it. Okay. So obviously we can make it a little bit longer. It didn't go all the way to the end. So let's go back here. Let's go back to the scenario for my time. Double click on it. Let me make it 13 point. Oh, I'll make it about 13.98. How about that? That'll pretty much take it to the end. A little bit more, maybe 14. So let's go back here. I'll make it, ooh, cancel. The one that I had, is this the one? Yeah. Make it 14.1 and run it. Okay, it's a little bit more. Okay, so obviously the length of this thing is a little bit more than 13.89, but that's okay. So we can play this thing. There we are. Now, I did put some physics into it because basically I specified the speed of the bottom point on that curve. But you can also go and later on ask for what is the velocity of this point, what is the acceleration of that point. So that can be done. And this takes care of the tutorial. Good luck.